Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and remain standing for the presentation of colors, as well as our national anthem and invocation. Today's national anthem will be performed by Miss Mary Whitaker, who is a rising junior at Eastman School of Music and daughter of NPS Operations Research Professor Lynn Whitaker. Color Guard, parade the colors.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Color Guard, retire the colors. Chaplain Riley will now deliver the invocation.
Let us pray. Eternal Father, strong to save, ever-present source of all our days, and especially today, as we pause in the excitement of this commencement to offer up this prayer, may we turn our minds and our hearts to you in this moment. Thank you for the wisdom that you have given, wisdom that is the ultimate source of all learning and inspiration. We stand here, each one, as witnesses and participants in a tremendous time of accomplishment. As our graduates mark a significant milestone in their personal and professional lives, may your understanding be with them. Lead them into positions of leadership and influence for the good, with the knowledge and the insights gained here at MPS. That this short space of time in which we honor their achievement be remembered and nurtured in mind and spirit as they go forth and accomplish what you have set before them. Help them at last to do this with all boldness and confidence. I ask this now in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. Please be seated. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Naval Postgraduate School Spring Quarter Graduation. I'd like to begin this morning's ceremony by thanking the Del Monte Brass, Miss Mary Whitaker, and the Naval Postgraduate School Color Guard. The men and women sharing the stage today with President Tai and General Alexander are deans and chairs within our various 4 departments. These include distinguished professors, U.S. and foreign government officials, and other local area military leadership. They have all been deeply involved in the education of today's graduates, and their biographies can be found in your program. At this time, I'm honored to introduce our President, Rear Admiral Jan Tai.
Distinguished guests, faculty and staff, family and friends, and soon-to-be graduates, good morning and welcome to today's ceremony. Today is a celebration of accomplishment, and what a great way to share in those accomplishments by gathering here among friends and family. First and foremost, I would like to acknowledge the faculty and staff that made this graduation possible. Your passion and commitment to this institution and our students is palpable and appreciated. Because of you, the Naval Postgraduate School is graduating another class of well-educated officers and civilians who are capable of critical thinking, problem solving, and succeeding at much higher levels than when they came to us. Thank you for these graduates. Thank you for your service and dedication and support over the last 7 months to strengthen this institution. Second, I must recognize the family members and friends of the graduates today. You share in today's successes by being a part of our students' lives, supporting them to achieve their educational goals. Your role is often overlooked or understated, but today would not be possible without your sacrifice, love, and support. Thank you. I would also like to acknowledge one very special family that is with us today. They are here to accept the posthumous award of a Master of Science in Electrical Engineering. On behalf of Major Francisco Rodriguez, United States Marine Corps. Major Rodriguez's wife, Rosie, daughters, Isabella and Alyssa, are with us, and the girls will be accepting the diploma on behalf of their dad, and you honor us with your presence. And finally, to today's graduates, we are all proud of you. Each of you has overcome and conquered academic challenges. Your educational experience here have prepared you to become leaders who are in the forefront of resolving security challenges of your service, of your nations, and of the global community. You will make a difference in keeping us all safe. Congratulations. For many of you, leaving Monterey may be bittersweet. Whether you'll miss the beauty of the Central Coast and all that it has to offer when you are not studying, or you will miss being steeped in that academic environment and that has allowed you to focus and think deep thoughts, or possibly you will miss the camaraderie that you have enjoyed with your fellow students. Leaving Monterey is always difficult. Trust me, I've had to do it many times now, but you can be justifiably proud of your accomplishments, and you will always have memories and your education to lean upon. As part of today's ceremony, we also have the honor of inducting the keynote speaker, General Keith Alexander, into the Naval Postgraduate School's Hall of Fame. Our Hall of Fame was established more than 10 years ago to recognize exceptional members of the NPS community for their leadership and commitment to public service. NPS Hall of Fame members have proven their selfless dedication to service, to their communities, and to their country and this university. Today we welcome NPS alum General Keith Alexander to his respective place among them. General Alexander has demonstrated the character, integrity, and exemplary leadership that Naval Postgraduate School Hall of Fame inductees reflect. General Alexander has selflessly served his country as a U.S. Army officer for nearly 4 decades, beginning at West Point. Can I get a hooah? This is an interactive remarks section, so feel free. General Alexander holds a Bachelor of Science from the United States Military Academy and a Master of Science in Business Administration from Boston University. He holds a Master of Science degree in Systems Technology, Electronic Warfare, and a Master of Science in Physics from the Naval Postgraduate School. General Alexander is commanded at every level. His contributions to the Department of Defense and this nation's security have been revolutionary and inspiring. He has served as the director of the National Security Agency Chief Central Security Service since 2005. During his tenure, he changed the nature of combat operations initially in Iraq and later in Afghanistan by ensuring that commanders were provided timely and actionable intelligence that could be instantly acted upon. His leadership resulted in rolling up insurgents and terrorists and saving American and Allied lives. As the driving force and plank owner of commander of U.S. Cyber Command, General Alexander has led the operations and defense of DoD networks to a higher level of security, while simultaneously bringing cybersecurity to the forefront in the United States government and critical infrastructure on behalf of both the United States and its allies. I worked directly for General Alexander for 5 years, including 1 year on his personal staff. I know him to not only be highly intelligent, analytic, and often funny, but more importantly, honest, humble, and compassionate in his leadership style. He places a premium on ensuring that people are treated respectfully and professionally. I learned a great deal from him, and he continues to inspire me and many others. General Alexander is an exceptional example of selfless dedication to service and country. Today, we induct him as the 20th member of the NPS Hall of Fame. General Alexander, will you please come forward?
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Attention to award. Naval Postgraduate School Hall of Fame is presented to General Keith B. Alexander, U.S. Army, Commander, U.S. Cyber Command, Director, National Security Agency, Chief, Cybersecurity Service, 21 June 2013. General Alexander's contributions to the Department of Defense and this nation's security have been both groundbreaking and inspiring. He recast the role of intelligence in combat operations and has managed to bring the full power of NCA CSS to every corner of the battlefield, supporting troops in harm's way. His exemplary leadership in transforming the operations and defense of DoD networks, while simultaneously bringing cybersecurity to the forefront in government and critical infrastructure on behalf of the United States and its allies, is commendable and distinguishes him amongst his peers. Signed, Jan E. Tai, Rear Admiral, U.S. Navy, Interim President. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
General Alexander, we invite you to address our guests today, but an important safety tip for the guests. It's okay to laugh if he makes a joke. He takes his job quite seriously, but not himself, and if you don't laugh, he'll assume you're not used to humor and blame me.
Thanks. Admiral Tai, thank you for this award. You honor and humble me by it. I am surprised until I read how they selected people from this, and it was alphabetically. And I thought, well, General Abizaid, if he had come here, it would have been his turn. There's a lot of things I want to talk to you today, and I know in the next hour and a half that I'm talking, many of you will miss your flights and rides out of here. Well, to the families, friends of the students who are graduating today, as Admiral Tai said, thanks for your support. Because I know what many of the students go through here is a rigorous academic set of training, and at times a little bit frustrating, and the families are left on their own. For me, it was more often time on the golf course, and the family Okay, we won't go into that. And for those of you who are graduating, I'm going to talk to you specifically, but I did want to express my condolences to Rosie Rodriguez and her children, Isabella and Alyssa. Major Francisco Rodriguez, as Admiral Ty said, was a great Marine, patriot, and American. His passing is a tragic loss to America as well as his family. He will be deeply missed. And I think for all of you who have chosen public service that are here today graduating, whether you're from the United States or from one of our allies, I thought it would be important to address some of the comments to you. Because as I look back on my career, when I was sitting in your seat, well, actually third row up, third seat in there. Okay, I don't remember, to be honest. There was a lot going on. I want to step back a little bit before. Let's go back to World War II, where our nation, combined with Poland, the United Kingdom, and France, had the technical capability to break Enigma. And in breaking Enigma, it gave us an advantage in World War II. There was a 3-rotor system and a 4-rotor system. The 3-rotor system was one we used, and it changed the war in the Atlantic. Admiral Donitz saw that this was changing and thought perhaps they have broken Enigma, so he added a 4th rotor. When he added that 4th rotor in, it changed the complexity to the number of variables to 3 times 10 to the 114th power. Think of this as a big number, very difficult to break. Everybody thought it was impossible. 9 months later, we broke that. The war changed in our favor. In 1962, I just came back from West Point. I just wanted to see if my graduate degree was still good there. It's gone down a little bit. But, you know, as you get, I was up in Thayer Hall, and in Thayer Hall you get to see Eisenhower, MacArthur, and all these. And I thought, well, how do we express to you, the students, some thoughts that as I look back on graduating from here, and as I look at the tremendous officers that we have in our military, both here and with our allies, what sets us apart? And there was a speech by MacArthur, and it was called Duty, Honor, Country. And I thought, I'd just give you a piece of that and use that to set the stage. And he said, and I'm going to quote this, remember, I'm an Army officer, you know I can't read, so bear with me. The one part, it goes, duty, honor, country. These 3 hallowed words reverently dictate what you ought to be, what you can be, what you will be. They are your rallying point to build courage when courage seems to fail, to regain faith when there seems to be little cause for faith, to create hope when hope becomes forlorn. Now, let's fast forward to 1980. That was in 1962. No, I was not at West Point at that time. 1983, I graduated from here. 1983, the ARPANET was just coming out in January of that year. ARPANET changed the way communications work by going packet. The Transport Control Protocol, Internet Protocol, or TCP/IP as we know it, fundamentally changed our communications infrastructure, making possible all that we use today, iPhone, Google, and just think, everything that you have, Apple, Microsoft, everything came from that one fundamental shift. But what also changed for us was the integration of communications from civilian communications, military communications, terrorist communications, all into one environment. And that's what we face today. So today, these all come together. And our nation now has to look at how do we do cybersecurity in a way that comports with our laws and that's of our allies, protects our systems, and gives us a capability for the future to prevent war. And the answer lies here before us, you. You are the leaders that will lead our military and that of our allies into the future, into this new world. You have the technical foundation, and you're learning here through the great courses in electrical engineering and physics, which I really like, cybersecurity, and all the other courses that you have here. How do we now face the challenges? How do we do it under a legal framework, with the courts, with Congress, with the administration, to protect our nation and our allies? I will tell you that what I learned here greatly helped me. I believe that what we have faced is how do we ensure the security of our nation and protect civil liberties and privacy. What you will have to do is take that the next step, because people will choose to disrupt and potentially destroy capabilities in this space. And I believe that's something that's coming quickly. And from my perspective, our nation, our military, cannot do this without people who are educated at the level that you are educated. We need you and our allies to help lead in this area. And from my perspective, I believe that we can do this and protect our security and our civil liberties and privacy. And we must strive to do that. It has been, for me, an honor and privilege to be associated with this great graduate school and some of the great curriculums that you're setting up in cybersecurity, and what you're doing to advance the educational foundation of our military and those in public service and our allies. For the faculty members, I guess there's more than one now, but I thought sequestration cut you down a little bit. Just kidding. So members, both of you, you should take great pride in the education you're giving our future military and government service and our allies. So thank you. Let's give the faculty a big round of applause. There's a note here that says big girl voice. I don't know what that means. Probably not for me, right? Okay. Just checking. It's a green sticky. It says big girl voice. I said, okay. Okay, I guess, see, now that I can read, I'm a danger. To the students, you have the knowledge to help change the world as we know it for good, for our military and for our nation. Our military has now the responsibility to defend this neighbor in cyberspace and work with our allies. We can't do it without talent like you have now. Congratulations on the degrees that you're about to get and for the great work that you've done. And more importantly, thank you for what you've done serving our nations and what you will do in the future to help shape the future of our nation. It's a privilege and honor to be here with you. Congratulations on graduating. Thank you, folks.
I'd now like to invite President Tai and Provost Hensler forward for the presentation of the degrees. Candidates for the degree Doctor of Philosophy, please stand and proceed to the platform.
Will Commander Michael Hideto Tsutagawa, the candidate for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Electrical Engineering, please cross the stage. The title of Commander Tsutagawa's dissertation is Genetic Algorithm Metaheuristic Methodology in Silvaco Atlas to Produce Maximum Power and Efficiency Solar Cell Designs. Commander Tsutagawa's dissertation advisor is Professor Sharif Michael from the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering. Commander Tsutagawa developed a complete methodology to optimize single and dual junction solar cell designs using a metaheuristic genetic algorithm written in Java that iteratively calls a Silvaco Atlas TCAD device simulator. The genetic algorithm explored a solution space of up to 2,560 factorial and improved solar cell power output and efficiency from 1 to 4%. Rear Admiral Tai, I present to you Commander Sutagawa. He has completed all requirements prescribed by the faculty and is recommended for the degree Doctor of Philosophy.
By the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degree Doctor of Philosophy, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto pertaining.
Will Mr. Robert Severnhaus, the candidate for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Electrical Engineering, please cross the stage. The title of Mr. Severnhaus's dissertation, Improving USX Network Availability with Asymmetric Polarized MIMO. Mr. Severnhaus's dissertation advisor is Professor M. Tumala from the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering. Mr. Severnhaus's dissertation research developed new asymmetric antenna configurations for fading channels using polarization reciprocity to maximize received power. This research will help to maintain the highest availability for a mobile ad hoc wireless network with heterogeneous communication capabilities. Rear Admiral Tai, I present to you Mr. Severnhaus. He has completed all requirements prescribed by the faculty and is recommended for the degree Doctor of Philosophy.
By the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degree Doctor of Philosophy, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto pertaining.
Will Major Natalie Elizabeth Venata, the candidate for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Applied Mathematics, please cross the stage. The title of Major Venata's dissertation is Solving Multivariate Polynomial Equations in a Finite Field. Major Venata's dissertation advisor is Professor David Canwright from the Department of Applied Mathematics. Major Venata's research extended algebraic methods to attack modern encryption methods, which can be expressed as a system of multivariate polynomial equations over a finite field. These improved techniques overcome the limitations of previous methods, were tested successfully on the advanced encryption standard, and result in the most efficient purely algebraic attack on this cipher. Rear Admiral Tai, I present to you Major Venata. She has completed all requirements prescribed by the faculty and is recommended for the degree Doctor of Philosophy.
By the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degree Doctor of Philosophy, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto pertaining.
Will Lieutenant Colonel Alexander McCalman, the candidate for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Modeling, Virtual Environments, and Simulation, please cross the stage. The title of Lieutenant Colonel McCalman's dissertation is flexible space-filling designs for complex system simulations. Lieutenant Colonel McCalman's dissertation advisor is Professor Jean Paolo from the Department of Systems Engineering. Lieutenant Colonel McCalman's dissertation presents new state-of-the-art experimental designs using a genetic algorithm that advance the exploratory analysis of simulation experiments. As a MOVES PhD student, his research incorporated the operations research, systems engineering, and defense analysis departments to include a 3-month deployment to Kandahar, Afghanistan, in support of the Core Lab Lighthouse concept. Rear Admiral Tai, I present to you Lieutenant Colonel McCalman. He has completed all requirements prescribed by the faculty and is recommended for the degree Doctor of Philosophy.
By the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto pertaining.
Will Lieutenant Colonel Samuel R. Shearer, the candidate for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Modeling Virtual Environments and Simulation, please cross the stage? The title of Lieutenant Colonel Shearer's dissertation is Modeling Second Language Change Using Skill Retention Theory. Lieutenant Colonel Shearer's dissertation advisor is Professor Rudolph Darkin from the Department of Computer Science. Lieutenant Colonel Shearer's dissertation analyzed 13 years of Defense Language Institute data for over 16,000 military linguists to determine if cognitive-based skill retention theory can adequately explain foreign language skill decay among its linguists. The results demonstrate that this theory can be used to model language skill decay based upon the linguist's original proficiency level and may be used by the military services to schedule appropriate refresher training to reduce language decay or to maintain current language skill proficiency. Rear Admiral Tai, I present to you Lieutenant Colonel Shearer. He has completed all requirements prescribed by the faculty and is recommended for the degree Doctor of Philosophy.
By the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto pertaining.
Will Commander Richard H. Downey, the candidate for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Applied Physics, please cross the stage? The title of Commander Downey's dissertation is Toward a Microscale Acoustic Direction Finding Sensor with Integrated Electronic Readout. Commander Downey's dissertation advisor is Professor Jamani Karanasiri from the Department of Physics. Commander Downey researched a biologically inspired acoustic direction finding sensor with a substantially increased sensitivity. Applications of the sensor include localization of gunshots and other sounds. Rear Admiral Tai, I present to you Commander Downey. He has completed all requirements prescribed by the faculty and is recommended for the degree Doctor of Philosophy.
By the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto pertaining.
Will Captain Peter D. Haynes, the candidate for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Security Studies, please cross the stage? The title of Captain Haynes' dissertation is American Naval Thinking in the Post-Cold War Era, the U.S. Navy and Emergence of a Maritime Strategy, 1989 to 2007. Captain Haynes' dissertation advisor is Professor Daniel Moran from the Department of National Security Affairs. Captain Haynes' study links the description and what is at times an unpleasant analysis of the evolution of U.S. naval strategy from 1989 to 2007, which marked the release of a maritime strategy called a Cooperative Strategy for 21st Century Sea Power. The study seeks to understand how the United States Navy arrived at its current strategic outlook and why it took nearly 2 decades for a maritime strategy to emerge in an era in which the relative saliency of such should have been more apparent. Rear Admiral Tai, I present to you Captain Haynes. He has completed all requirements prescribed by the faculty and is recommended for the degree Doctor of Philosophy.
By the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degree Doctor of Philosophy, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto pertaining.
Candidates for the degrees Master of Arts, Master of Science, Master of Business Administration, and Executive Master of Business Administration, please stand.
President Tai, I present to you these candidates. After consideration of their academic accomplishments, the Academic Council will recommend them for the degree Master of Arts, Master of Science, Master of Business Administration, and Executive Master of Business Administration as specified.
Upon the recommendation of the Academic Council, I will, by the authority vested in me, confer upon them the degree Master of Arts, Master of Science, Master of Business Administration, and Executive Master of Business Administration as specified, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto pertaining.
Candidates, please proceed to the platform. Remaining graduates, please be seated. Of this quarter's 306 graduating class, 99 have also earned their Command and Staff Diploma from the Joint Professional Military Education Program sponsored by the Naval War College. This is annotated in the graduation program with a star adjacent to the student's name. Candidate for the degree Master of Engineering, Electrical Engineering, Major Francisco Rodriguez, United States Marine Corps. On behalf of Major Rodriguez, who's no longer with us, his daughters Isabella and Alyssa Rodriguez will be accepting his diploma and are escorted by Major Chad Seagram, United States Marine Corps. Candidates for the degree Master of Arts in Security Studies, Middle East, South Asia, and Sub-Saharan Africa. Major Thomas Brooks IV, U.S. Army. Captain Seth Daisylay, U.S. Army. Captain Faji Kumapale, U.S. Army. Major James Disney Ryan, U.S. Army. Major Kevin Lee Steele, U.S. Army. Lieutenant Colonel Aminu Muhammad Omar, Nigerian Army. Lieutenant Commander John Earl Cruz III, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Megan Colleen Gray, U.S. Navy, also received the Louis D. Liskin Award for Excellence in Regional Security Studies and was recommended to receive with distinction. Lieutenant Commander Jessica Lynn Swanson, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Commander William Joseph Parrish, U.S. Navy. Major Stephen Chupp, Jr., U.S. Air Force. Captain T. Daniel Ray, U.S. Air Force. Ms. Kyra Natanya Waxer, Navy civilian, Navy Postgraduate School. Candidates for the degree Master of Arts in Security Studies, Far East, Southeast Asia, Pacific. Captain Benjamin Neff, U.S. Marine Corps. Major Andreas Lagenbach, German Army, also received the International Student Award for Excellence in Regional and Security Studies. Major Stephen Lewentowitz, U.S. Army. Lieutenant Calvin Dillard, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Commander Andrew Morocco, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Commander Jonathan Kenneth Shine, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Todd Steinbrenner, U.S. Navy. Major Michael Andrew Edmonston, U.S. Air Force, also received the Outstanding United States Air Force Graduate Award, Department of National Security Affairs, and was recommended to receive with distinction. Major Daniel Morin, U.S. Air Force. Captain Wei President, U.S. Air Force. Candidates for the degree Master of Arts in Security Studies, Western Hemisphere. Captain Akila Kanab, U.S. Army. Major Tamika L. Sibley, U.S. Army. Captain Daniel Monroy, Jr., U.S. Army. Captain Jay Richardson, U.S. Army. Captain Luis Daniel Rivera, U.S. Army. Lieutenant Commander Robert William Curley, Jr., U.S. Navy, also received the degree Executive Master in Business Administration, Naval Postgraduate School Superior Service Award, and was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Candidates for the degree Master of Arts in Security Studies, Europe and Eurasia. Major Carl Christian Weith, U.S. Marine Corps. Major Emery Hayes, U.S. Army. Lieutenant Colonel Thomas Mott, German Army, also received the International Student Award for Excellence in Regional Security Studies. Lieutenant Colonel Eric Stefan Thompson, U.S. Army. Lieutenant Wesley Curtis, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Bernard Bitter, German Air Force. Candidates for the degree Master of Arts in Security Studies, Defense Decision-Making and Planning. Air Commodore Shahid Latif Bajwa, Pakistan Air Force, was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Major Cecilia Montes de Oca, U.S. Air Force, was recommended to receive with distinction. Candidates for the degree Master of Science in Electrical Engineering, Captain Ryan Kelly, U.S. Marine Corps. Captain Benjamin Pimentel, U.S. Marine Corps, also received the John McReynolds Wozencraft Electrical and Computer Engineering Academic Honor Award and was recommended to receive with distinction. Lieutenant Timothy Beach, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Matthew Hagstead, U.S. Navy, also received the Space and Naval Warfare Systems Command Award in Electronic Systems Engineering and was recommended to receive with distinction. Ensign David Hoyle, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Andrew James Metzkes, U.S. Navy. Ensign Kyle Milden, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Emmanuel Mortzakis, Hellenic Navy. Ensign Mark E. Fender, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Alexander Rios, U.S. Navy. Candidates for the degree Master of Science Mechanical Engineering. Ensign Martin Bennett, U.S. Navy, was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Lieutenant Jason Wayne Downs, U.S. Navy, also received Naval Sea Systems Command Award in Naval Mechanical Engineering, was recommended to receive with distinction, and was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Lieutenant Jennifer Sanders Fleming, U.S. Navy. Ensign Warren Peter Fisher, U.S. Navy. Ensign Brian Giorgi, U.S. Navy. Ensign Fridolin Charles Chester Heer, U.S. Navy, was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Ensign Mary Elise Janowski, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Andrea Jones, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Danica Leonard, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant John Luge, U.S. Navy. Ensign Michael Martin, U.S. Navy. Ensign Lindsay Olson, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Lara Ray, U.S. Navy, was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Ensign Catherine Taylor, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant J.G. David A. Banish, U.S. Coast Guard. Lieutenant Adam J. Paz, U.S. Coast Guard. Lieutenant John Harvey Peterson, National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration Corps. Lieutenant Junior Grade Ufuk Babalo, Turkish Navy. Candidates for the degree Master of Science in Systems Engineering. Lieutenant Christina Carino, U.S. Navy, was also recognized for an outstanding thesis. Lieutenant David Dorfman, U.S. Navy. Commander Sidney Hodgson, U.S. Navy, was recommended to receive with distinction and was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Lieutenant Puyan Kishiti, U.S. Navy. Ladies and gentlemen, may I ask you please hold your applause to the end. Lieutenant Ryan Langham, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Matthew McClure, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Crystal Miller, U.S. Navy. Commander Tyler Nikimoto, U.S. Navy, also received the Naval Sea Systems Command Award for Excellence in Systems Engineering, was recommended to receive with distinction, and was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Lieutenant Thomas O'Brien III, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Rich Sheen, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Andrew Gabriel Sheen, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Stephen Zokta, Jr., U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Irvin Taylor, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Matthew Joseph White, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Frank Strom III, U.S. Coast Guard. Lieutenant James Burkhart Zorn, U.S. Coast Guard, was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Mr. Christian Daniel All, Army Materiel Command, Research, Development, and Engineering Command. Mr. Ryan Edward Ottenbau, Joint Program Executive Office for Chemical and Biological Defense. Ms. Kimberly Battle, Aviation Missile Research, Development, and Engineering Center. Mr. Louis W. Berklick, Jr., U.S. Army Tank Automotive Research, Development, and Engineering Center. Mr. Cameron Haar, Fleet Numerical and Oceanography Center. Mr. Michael Patrick Higgins, U.S. Army Research, Development, Engineering Command. Mr. David Long, Naval Surface Warfare Center, Crane Division. Ms. Donna Ann Ray, Army Missile Research, Development, Engineering Center. Ms. Elizabeth Doris Swisher, Natick Soldier Research, Development, and Engineering Center. Candidates for the degree Master of Science in Engineering Systems, Mr. David Lawrence Basala, III, United States Army Research, Development, and Engineering Command. Mr. Michael J. Oxman, U.S. Army Research, Development, and Engineering Command. Mr. Ralph Nathaniel Pinnock, U.S. Army Tank Automotive Research, Development, and Engineering Command. Ms. Marantha Lee Sophie, Aviation and Missile Research, Development, and Engineering Center. Candidates for the degree Master of Science in Engineering Analysis, Lieutenant Colonel Sim MacArthur, U.S. Army. Lieutenant Matthew Blandon, U.S. Navy, also received the Wayne E. Meyer Award for Outstanding Student in Systems Engineering Integrated Project. Lieutenant Jeremy Brooks, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Christopher Carraway, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Daniel Chillo, U.S. Navy, also received the Wayne E. Meyer Award for Outstanding Student in Systems Engineering Integrated Project. Lieutenant Jeffrey DeLongpre, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Jacob Nowakowski, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Roosevelt White, Jr., U.S. Navy. Captain Cheng Po Yu, Taiwan Air Force. Candidate for the degree Master of Science in Systems Engineering Management, Mr. David James Chow, Air Force Space Command, Space and Missile Systems Center. Candidate for the degree Master of Science in Astronautical Engineering, Ensign Shane Christopher Moran, U.S. Navy. Candidates for the degree Master of Science in Meteorology and Physical Oceanography, Lieutenant Commander Eric Shishini, U.S. Navy, was recommended to receive with distinction and was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Lieutenant Joseph Shishini, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Tai Fung, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Commander Jonathan Savage, U.S. Navy, was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Lieutenant Commander Jeanette Sheets, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Commander Adam Schinnebarger, U.S. Navy. Candidate for the degree Master of Science in Physical Oceanography, Lieutenant Carlos Zuniga, Chilean Navy. Ensign Darren Pastrana, U.S. Navy. Candidates for the degree Master of Science in Applied Physics. Major Michael Martin, U.S. Marine Corps, also received the Naval Sea Systems Command Award for excellence in combat systems and was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Lieutenant William Dean, U.S. Navy, recommended to receive with distinction and recommended for an outstanding thesis. Lieutenant Sarah Gregory, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant David Hartel, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Daniel Hogue, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant J.G. Patrick Smith, U.S. Navy, also received the Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Laboratory Award for excellence in applied physics research. Ensign Daniel Watts, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Junior Grade Abdullah Kara, Turkish Navy. Candidate for the degree Master of Science in Engineering Acoustics, Lieutenant J.G. Erhan Ozer, Turkish Navy, was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Candidates for the degree Master of Science in Operations Research, Captain Matthew David Bowman, U.S. Marine Corps, was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Major Jason Ford, U.S. Marine Corps. Captain Rocky Graciani, U.S. Marine Corps. Major Aaron R. Rammert, U.S. Marine Corps. Major Javier Reves, U.S. Marine Corps. Captain Joseph Cordell, U.S. Army Reserve. Major Michael Fleischman, U.S. Army. Captain Uwe Rudolf Gertner, German Army, was recognized for an outstanding thesis. First Lieutenant Selçuk Gun, Turkish Army, also received the degree Master of Science in Software Engineering. Major Spencer Timmons, U.S. Army. Major Gregory Whalen, U.S. Army Reserve, also received the Army Chief of Staff Award for excellence in operations research. Lieutenant Commander Benjamin Sipperly, U.S. Navy, recommended to receive with distinction and was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Lieutenant J.G. Thurgood Kaimal, Turkish Navy, recognized for an outstanding thesis. Lieutenant Commander James Montgomery, U.S. Navy, recommended to receive with distinction. First Lieutenant Baygam Yagmur Uzkan, Turkish Air Force, also received the Military Operations Research Society Stephen A. Tisdale Graduate Research Award and was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Candidates for the degree Master of Science in Human Systems Integration, Captain Bridget Bell, U.S. Army. Major Matthew Taranto, U.S. Air Force, also received the Air Force Association Award for Outstanding United States Air Force Student. Candidates for the degree Master of Science in Defense Analysis, Lieutenant Colonel Yu Kui Lin, Taiwan Marine Corps. Major Michael Alexander, U.S. Army. Major George Edward Barrett, U.S. Army. Major Akeem Miguel Arivisu Biller, U.S. Army. Major Young Min Dave Cho, U.S. Army. Major Brady Clark, U.S. Army. Major Sean Cunningham, U.S. Army. Major Benjamin Dawson, U.S. Army. Major Kirk Duncan, U.S. Army, was recommended to receive with distinction and was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Major Alexander Ford, U.S. Army. Major Nils French, Canadian Army, was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Lieutenant Colonel Jorge Galindo, Colombian Army. Major David Gregory Gogish, U.S. Army. Major Richard Brandon Gebhardt, U.S. Army. Major William Grant Hansen, U.S. Army, was recommended to receive with distinction and was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Major Samuel Kimokai, U.S. Army. Major Mark Lee, U.S. Army. Major Lars William Lullaby, Norwegian Army, also received the degree Master of Science in Information Operations. Major Thomas Ludwig, U.S. Army. Major Loring Martin, U.S. Army. Major Edwin Doyle Morton III, U.S. Army, was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Major Michael William O'Donnell, U.S. Army. Major Edward Judson Sanford IV, U.S. Army. Lieutenant Colonel Ramey Wilson, U.S. Army, also received the Association of the United States Army General Joseph W. Stilwell Chapter Award for an outstanding Army student and was recommended to receive with distinction. Lieutenant Karen Jasper, U.S. Navy. Major Kong Yu Yen, Republic of Singapore Navy. Wing Commander Kashif Jamal Khan, Pakistan Air Force, also received the Naval Postgraduate School Outstanding Academic Achievement Award for international students and was recommended to receive with distinction. Chief Police Inspector Olhay Er, Turkish National Police. Candidate for the degree Master of Science in Information Operations, Major Robert Christopher Miskey, U.S. Army, was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Candidates for the degree Master of Science in Systems Technology, Command, Control, and Communication, C3, Major Gary Colbert, Jr., U.S. Marine Corps, also received the Joint Chiefs of Staff Command, Control, and Communications Award for academic achievement and was recommended to receive with distinction. Captain Michael McClanahan Gerson, U.S. Marine Corps. First Lieutenant Suhail Ben Takaya, Tunisian Army, was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Lieutenant Anthony Clark, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Commander Eric Heitch, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Commander Andrew Robert Lucas, United States Navy, also received the 2013 AFCEA John McReynolds Rosencraft Award for academic excellence in Joint C4I, was recommended to receive with distinction and was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Lieutenant Nathan Rao, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Stephen Richter, U.S. Navy, was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Lieutenant Commander Oscar Simmons IV, U.S. Navy. Candidate for the degree Master of Science in Information Technology Management, Major Michael Gavin, United States Marine Corps, was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Lieutenant Jeffrey James Dixon, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Matthew Palmer Warnicki, U.S. Navy. Candidates for the degree Master of Science in Computer Science, Ms. Kristen Louise Benedus, Federal Cyber Corps, was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Mr. Jose Calderon Correa, Federal Cyber Corps. Mr. John Paul Donaldson, Federal Cyber Corps. Mr. Michael McCarron, Federal Cyber Corps, also received the Rear Admiral Grace Hopper Computer Science Award, was recommended to receive with distinction, and was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Ms. Christina Chila Rebel, Federal Cyber Corps. Ms. Lauren Nicole Sharp, Federal Cyber Corps, was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Mr. James Kitaro Taguchi, Federal Cyber Corps, was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Candidate for the degree Master of Science in Cyber Systems and Operations, Lieutenant William Douglas Brinkmeyer, Jr., U.S. Navy, was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Candidates for the degree Master of Science in Contract Management, Ms. Julie Alexander, civilian, also received the Naval Postgraduate School Outstanding Academic Achievement Award for the Department of Defense student and was recommended to receive with distinction. Ms. Jennifer Lee, civilian. Candidates for the degree Master of Business Administration, Wing Commander Amir Shaukat Siddiqui, Pakistan Air Force, also received the Graduate School of Business and Public Policy Faculty Outstanding International Student Award and was recommended to receive with distinction. Wing Commander Mohammed Khalid Masood Syed, Pakistan Air Force, also received the Graduate School of Business and Public Policy Faculty Outstanding International Student Award, was recommended to receive with distinction, and was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Colonel Vitaly Koshunchuk, Ukraine Army. Commander Syed Naveed Hassan, Pakistan Navy, recognized for an outstanding thesis. Lieutenant Commander Zulfikar Ali Khan, Pakistan Navy, also received the Naval Postgraduate School Outstanding Academic Achievement Award for international students. Commander Mohammed Adil Qureshi, Pakistan Navy, also received the Graduate School of Business and Public Policy Faculty Outstanding International Student Award and was recommended to receive with distinction. Lieutenant Commander Sakunaka Masakasu, Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force. Captain Nathaniel Costa, U.S. Army. Captain Desiree Derridge, U.S. Army. Captain Michael Garrett, U.S. Army, recognized for an outstanding thesis. Major An Ha, U.S. Army. Major Matthew McCannis, U.S. Army, also received the Army Acquisition Corps Award for Scholastic Achievement. Captain Keith Muelling, U.S. Army. Major Brian Welch, U.S. Army. Captain Larry Yu, U.S. Army. Captain Aaron Masitis, U.S. Marine Corps, also received the Marine Corps Association Superior Service Award for Outstanding U.S. Marine Student. Lieutenant Commander Thomas Arnold, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Raymond Ball, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Commander Anthony Bannister, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Commander George Bick, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Commander Gary Blueberg, U.S. Navy Reserve, also received the Conrad Scholar Award for Distinguished Academic Achievement in Financial Management. Lieutenant Commander Brian Boggs, U.S. Navy, is recognized for an outstanding thesis. Lieutenant Commander Bradley Carroll, U.S. Navy, also received the Rear Admiral Donald R. Eaton Logistics Award for outstanding achievement. Lieutenant Casey Carter, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Commander Kurt Solis, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Commander Jeremy Clark, U.S. Navy, was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Lieutenant Commander Brad Coleman, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Commander Tanya Cormier, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Edward Curley, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Commander Autumn Daniel, U.S. Navy, also received 4 awards. The Monterey Council Navy League Award for Highest Academic Achievement, the Naval Supply Systems Command Award for Academic Excellence in Management, the Commander Philip A. Murphy Sweet Memorial Award for Excellence in Acquisition, the Lewis D. Liskin Award for Excellence in Business and Public Policy, was recommended to receive with distinction, and was recommended for outstanding thesis. Lieutenant J.G. Nicholas Dvorak, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Lucas Francavilla, U.S. Navy, also received the Conrad Scholar Award for Distinguished Academic Achievement in Financial Management. Lieutenant Commander Chad Decaf Gerber, U.S. Navy, also received 3 awards. The Lewis D. Liskin Award for Excellence in Business and Public Policy, the Department of Navy Award for Academic Excellence in Financial Management, the Rear Admiral Thomas R. McClellan Award for Academic Excellence in Graduate School of Business and Public Policy, and was recognized for an outstanding thesis. Lieutenant Edward Hood, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Daniel Jones, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Christopher Cadling, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Commander James Lomax, U.S. Navy, also received the Surface Navy Association's Award for Excellence in Surface Warfare Research. Lieutenant Commander Wee Nguyen, U.S. Navy. Commander Helmut Rodler, German Navy. Lieutenant Commander Pamela Saucedo, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Commander Warren Sherman, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Lee Shoemake, U.S. Navy, also received the Surface Navy Association's Award for Excellence in Surface Warfare Research. Lieutenant Commander Matthew Shields, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Patrick Shovelin, U.S. Navy. Lieutenant Commander Brian Story, U.S. Navy. Major Donald Pratt, U.S. Army. Captain G. Ahn, U.S. Army, also received the Surface Navy Association's Award for Excellence in Surface Warfare Research. Please join me in giving all our graduates well-deserved. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the graduation ceremony. On behalf of the President and all of us at Naval Postgraduate School, I'd like to once again thank you for being here today. We offer our sincere appreciation to the Naval Postgraduate School Color Guard, the Naval Postgraduate School Choir, Ms. Lynn Winokur, and the Del Monte Brass. Please remain clear of the aisles until the platform party and faculty have departed. President Tai cordially invites graduates, faculty, and guests to a reception in honor of the graduates in the Barbara McNitt Ballroom, Herman Hall, immediately following the ceremony. Chaplain Riley will now give the benediction.
Let us pray. Most holy and gracious one, I thank you again for the wisdom that you have granted to those who seek, and especially for each new graduate gathered before us. May the instruction of their professors and the love of their families and friends continue to strengthen them in the days ahead as they continue to serve a cause greater than themselves with all honor, courage of conviction, and commitment to stay true to their highest principles. As we now leave this great hall with a renewed sense of purpose and direction, whether graduate or student, faculty or staff, family or friend, may your peace be with us, may your grace shine in us, and may your strength be evident in all that we do. I ask this now in your holy name. Amen.
Graduates, you're dismissed.
Sound good. I felt bad for you. You got a bad cold. That had to be hard. Sounded good though. Oh, thank you, sir.